Welcome to the Penny Bloom Podcast. Ain't another place that has got more bombast. Romp past your mom, dad's listening to Tomcats. Talking everything that make you sad. We don't want that. We're here to make you smile. Put your mind at ease. Peace, love, and bloom, and always praise Keanu Reeves. This what we about. This some weeding now. We'll talk until we can't no more, and then we peacing out. Alright, let's go. Penny Bloom Podcast. It's the Penny Bloom Podcast. Penny Bloom Podcast. It's the Penny Bloom Podcast. Penny Bloom Podcast. Penny Bloom Podcast. Hello everybody and welcome in to another episode of the Penny Bloom Podcast. This is episode 247. 247 of them hoes. This is the Westworld Watch number 407. That's season 4, episode 7. And today I am joined by Joseph George. What's up, homie?
Oh, what up, what up? Always a pleasure to be here.
Oh, it's always a pleasure to have you. And since I cannot recall if I said it or not, I am Colton Robertson. Today we are discussing Westworld season 4. It is 1 a.m.
Yup.
Nice and late. I've now watched the episode twice. 2 times.
Indeed.
Have I watched season 4, episode 7, Metanoia, written by Deza Larkin-Boot and Denise Day, directed by Mira Menon. This was fucking good.
They know what they're doing, man. They know what they're doing.
It's something in
week
the
to
water
week.
over at HBO.
And they were in the water.
They were in
this
water.
episode. In the thick of it.
It's something.
Fighting.
It's something quite, and they don't always use it the same way, but something about fluid and water that Westworld uses as something of a
Christina in the bath.
Christina in the bath. Christina in the bath.
The lake that was in the early seasons where all of them ended up drowning.
Where Caleb had considered committing suicide.
Yeesh.
Yeesh,
Yeah.
indeed. Yeesh, indeed. But yeah, tons of water all over the place, and ultimately here sees the demise of a couple characters. Potentially. This was a biggie. And obviously this is spoilers all the way through. I'm not going no spoilers for this. I never do. I never will. Spoilers for season 4, episode 7, and all of season 4 for Westworld. We lost 3 characters who have been main characters for seasons.
Bernard, gone.
Real life Man in Black, gone.
Yeah.
Maeve and Charlotte Hale.
I don't know.
They could.
I don't know about them.
After Teddy, getting shot in the head doesn't seem so surefire. You're done for. You know what I'm saying?
It was very particularly off-center. Both
Bernard's
of them
was very particularly on
center. Yeah, and the interesting thing is that Bernard's, I forgot what we call him, mind control unit.
Brain
his
wall.
Pearl. I think they call him Pearl. His Pearl is the key in order to access the Sublime. But now it's gone. Right?
It's gone, but you know what he left?
It's open, though.
He left it open.
But it's not, the key's not needed anymore.
I don't think
it's
so.
I
think it's just open.
It's just open access now.
Yeah.
Okay, good.
That's my impression of it anyway. That's how I'm taking it.
Because I don't. Maeve could be,
God.
but Hale is not. I don't think either of them are dead, though.
I don't either, just because it felt so unceremonious for a couple of characters that have been so prominent. The only one who got a ceremonious death was Bernard, and it felt like that was truly an ending for him. And we've had the whole season up every way this goes, no matter what, I end up dead. It was always a possibility. So it just felt a little bit more final than the other two.
Yeah. And I don't know. No way Maeve's death is going to be just a quick cut to Billy Bot shooting her like from behind in the head.
Goddamn
you know,
Billy
and
Bot.
then
Goddamn
you know,
Billy Bot. Oh, and you know,
taking over the goddamn world.
We should go ahead and be like, I should be ashamed of myself at the very least. We had questions where it was like, wouldn't it be crazy if what it took for the Man in Black to become a decent person is to become a robot? You know, we thought, oh, he's not liking what Hale is doing. He's going to betray Hale. How does he do that? Well, as our little minds can comprehend, he goes to the other side and defeats Hale with the revolution. Nah, he's going to kill both sides of the war and go ahead and destroy the whole world. That's what his idea is.
You know, as you do.
And we should have, it wasn't that the Man in Black's instincts weren't seeping into him. It's that they were too much.
Yeah, there's just no hope for this guy anymore.
No, he's
just gonna wreak havoc.
He's the man who sold the world.
He was walking in there, single pistol. That's it. Like,
fully decked out too. Fully decked.
Oh, hat was on.
Yo, and the shot of him crossing the fucking bridge into the city that's burning as the man who sold the world plays. Like, oh, it was just a great episode. What do you say we do a scene by scene?
Let's do it, man.
Let's do it. Let's do it. We haven't even touched on some of the most outrageous and bewildering shit of the episode. So we start with Bernard and Maeve making their way inside the Hoover Dam, which is, we saw the Host in Black take the control of in the premiere of the show. And Dolores, we come to find, stored the Sublime here. We were like, where the fuck did she send it? She shot it.
We thought it was somewhere in space, man.
Well,
I thought it was
off into space.
Fair. Yeah, it does go in the sky. Does not curve. Does not give any hint that it is on Earth after it was sent.
Nope. She just went ahead and was like, you know what? You know what's a good place for this? The Hoover Dam.
Does the government, would they have no idea that this happened? Did she just send it to the Hoover Dam and the government is like, well, the server just got immensely more full out of nowhere. It's cool.
Well, that's the thing, is that it was the most powerful servers in the world, apparently. The data became permanent upon arriving there.
Whoa.
So, because that's what they say at the beginning. That's what the guy who's selling him the property tells him, is this is where your data is no longer fungible. It becomes permanent. And the Host in Black is like, oh, I think permanent to me and you means a whole lot different of a thing. Yeah, throws that out.
That's right.
But it'll be... See, what I fear... No, we'll get to it. We'll get to it. Because I was just gonna jump right to the end again. But we're at the beginning. But, it's so awesome the way they use widescreen and full screen to dictate to dictate the Sublime. Because even when the episode opened and it was in widescreen, I had the thought in the back of my head, this looks weird. Why does it look like this? And then when Maeve goes, because we're in there, aren't we? I was like, oh, fuck. They're in the Sublime. And then for half a second, I was like, I swear to God, if Joseph's right, this whole fucking thing has been Bernard running a calculation. I'm gonna fucking die.
I got a little of it. A little taste.
A little taste.
No.
I love that they did show us a little bit of that, because it is something that I kind of wanted to see. I'm glad it wasn't the entire thing. It was just a part of it.
You just wanted to know if he would stick with him, if he told her the truth or not.
And I love
that's all that was for.
He's like, sure, is your poison of choice, right? And the tagline for the episode, you want to have a drink at a time like this. And he goes like, humor me for a second. It's just because he's throwing shit at the wall to see what sticks. He's like,
He's like, maybe this is the thing I need to do for stuff to work out for me.
Yeah.
What if I just offer you a drink and that's the thing that...
Yeah. Let me offer you this drink, see what happens here. Let me offer you this drink with 1 cherry, with 2 cherries. Yeah. Like, damn.
Well, and I had to go over it with Emily again a little bit just because, like, it has been 7 long weeks, since we really got Bernard, or probably 6 weeks. I don't think we got Bernard in the first episode, but him waking up from the Sublime and the whole explanation where it was like every year in the real world is a fucking millennia in there. So I was like, yeah, this was, and it seemed like the last calculation he ran, the way they framed it for us, anyway. But it was like, it's been hundreds of millennia for him at that point. So he's like, you know what, I think I got a pretty good handle on this by now.
He did say to Maeve, he was like, Maeve, I'm tired. He's straight up like, that man is tired. Even if you're a host and you don't need sleep and all, like,
if you've lived that many lifetimes, no matter who you are, you get tired.
Oh my god. Yeah, well, what more can you do? He was running it the whole time. Just for a chance, a little sliver to save everyone. Not everyone, actually.
Fucking glorious. Fucking glorious. But we do watch this whole sequence play out twice. Not exactly the same way. Couple little changes here, and I love that in the first one, Maeve comes to the conclusion, I probably would go ahead and ditch you. I'd want to fight, but I don't have the capacity for it. What's awesome about that is that Bernard has no way of knowing what Maeve and Caleb have gone through. Bernard has no way of knowing that Maeve has something to fight for in the real world. So his projection of her is him going, oh, well, what does she have to give a shit about?
Fuck. Does Bernard choose to wake up in a certain world? Or is it just the decisions that he makes in the world that he is in? Like, he woke up. He fell asleep on Earth, woke back up on Earth. Right?
Oh, yeah. I don't think we're dealing with different realities, if that's what you're kind of getting at.
Well, I mean, like, he's waking up in the same reality that he fell asleep in. And if he was running simulations, then it had to have been things that he could affect in order to save the world.
Yeah.
Because otherwise, the world would just run on. Like, if he were to not wake up, whatever's going to happen is going to happen.
Right.
So it's only things that he can affect, right? Like, there's no... I don't know. I feel...
Yeah, I don't know. How the fuck did he know Frankie was the key to it all if he doesn't know shit that happens after he goes to sleep? He has to know shit that happens after he goes to sleep, which is fucking fascinating.
So if he's... how does he know Frankie at all?
Because she's born after he fell asleep.
What?
Fucking insane, I tell you. I have no idea how it worked, but, these simulations were ran. It's worked out for him, I think, to a capacity. As far as it would take him, it's taken him. But we watched the sequence of the opening of the episode play out twice with Maeve, and the second time she chooses to stick around, it results in her destroying the giant riot control red robots that we love so very much.
We did say those robots are standing there for a reason. We will see it go down here, and I guess
we saw
they were just shut down.
We saw something.
But like, Yeah,
we got a little bit of them. We got a little bit of them.
Yeah.
But I do love the conversation they have here, where he offers her a choice. He could find her, upload her, and she'd be safely reunited with her daughter before everyone dies. Everyone's going extinct, hosts and humans alike. Or she could stay and fight to save the world, even if they are, quote, doomed to failure. Interesting, because it's the exact same choice that he was given by Ake whenever he ran those simulations. You can let the world end, or you can go ahead and stay here and live out your days, right where you're happiest. And so he provides that choice for Maeve, and she's a little hesitant at first. For one who expects. She says, "For one who expects us to have such faith in you, you have startlingly little in us. Do you really think if you knew," he says, "do you think if you knew the truth, you would stay and fight?" She says, "No, I would abandon you, as you would expect." And then, the flip side. She goes ahead and agrees to stick around, which was, pretty fucking cool. I loved that, She was like, "Yeah, I'm in, sure." So they head off to take out Hale's tower, leaving the gate open to robot heaven. And I love that, she was like, "So you know how to take down the tower?" And he's like, "Yep." And she's like, "All right, let's do the one that has the most expediency. Let's do this shit as quickly as we possibly can." I really like that.
If a human walks up to the Hoover Dam, they can't see that.
Yeah, no.
Or can they, because of whatever is altering them in their minds to hear the tones?
The flies. Do the flies have something that can...
Could a human walk through that? And transcend? And go to the sublime?
I think it's a possibility.
Is that the sliver that he's talking about? Like, wait. No. What happens if Frankie walks through there?
I think because the flies have no effect on her, she cannot... I don't think she can even see it.
Okay. But there's some... Yeah, I don't know. Because are we going to see people... I don't know, I guess I'm jumping ahead. But it's so weird to try to think about who can see what, and
right, because there's an inverse thing going on where the sublime is like only robots can see it, real people cannot. Meanwhile, the tower is like real people who are not affected by it can see the tower. It's like the door in season 1 where Bernard can't see it. He's like, what door are you talking about? Because it is there, but robots can't see it. The ones that are controlled cannot see it.
Oh, okay. At first I thought the tower, because the tower is gone, I thought that the tower would be the thing that gave the ability of the hosts to be from the sublime in the real world and actually make changes or do whatever they want with it. But if it's destroyed and they're still acting like Christina and Teddy are still a thing, the tower is not. It is not what's doing that.
It's not the controlling part of it, no. So, now, and we'll get there, but I have no idea what that is. I'm like, even more so than I did not before. You know what I'm saying? But this is kind of a good segue. Meanwhile, we cut back to Christina, who is waking up with Teddy sitting there, watching her sleep. Interesting choice, Teddy. And I like the little, what she says when she wakes up. "This all feels like a bad dream, except for you."
Oh,
like I was like, oh, I love Christina and Teddy. I love Christina and Teddy.
Can I just say, Teddy here was looking fine. The sunlight was hitting him just right. They made him. He's a
James Marsden's a swell looking fellow.
Should be Ken in the Barbie movie coming up, not Ryan Gosling. Weird tangent there.
I tend to maybe like we got like an MCU variant thing going on. James Marsden could very well pull off Ken.
I see either him or Zac Efron. That's my Ken. Weird, very weird tangent here.
I get you though. But nevertheless, she wakes up and is like, I can't believe I would do this. I can't believe I'm capable of this. And she's like, or Teddy's like, well, it's not like you, it's Charlotte Hale. And she's like, well, didn't you say that's me? And he has to explain, that she is one of multiple permutations of Dolores, and that Hale happens to be one of them. And upon learning this, she asks, like, can I fucking die? Like, what's the deal? Can I be killed? And he's like, it's a little harder for our kind. Now, we know it's harder for robots to be killed, but the evolution that Hale discusses further than that. If Teddy is to get her used to the idea of what she actually is beyond it, wouldn't they be even harder to kill?
But if the Hoover Dam were to flood and that server was wiped out, are they dead? Are they dead? Because where else are they stored?
True. Yeah, I have no fucking clue.
And that's the thing, is like, if the server's up, they're alive. There's no way they can die. Whatever happens to their body, which no one can see, if they're in the state of Christina or Teddy, presumably, maybe Teddy.
Teddy almost certainly, because he walks right past Stubbs and C as well. Later on in the episode. True.
What's
interesting about that too, though, is that Stubbs can't see them, which I thought was important. Even robots cannot. I have no idea what's going on there, man.
Okay, maybe it's just like, it's the way they view themselves in the world, because they're just on a hard drive in the Hoover Dam. And, like, they know themselves to be hosts, so they imagine themselves as a host in the world as they're doing their controlling of it.
The physical manifestation of their self.
Yeah. Like, and they're choosing to look the way they do. Christina, whenever she was more down, she would wear darker clothes, and she would look more down. Like, she's waking up better, she's looking better. Like, as her mood changes, her look is changing. Teddy looked immaculate. I don't think that was, like, for no reason. I don't know. Like, he looks immaculate right now. Maybe it's just the way they see themselves as they do the controlling of the world.
Right.
Sort of thing. And then the evolution that Hale is talking about is, like, the detachment from that. Is like, you don't need to imagine yourself as a body doing these things. You can just do them in your mind. Like, you don't have to be there. You can just do what, like, you can play God,
Right. Yeah, maybe so. I just, I'm having a tough time understanding it, especially upon this very next part. Because upon learning of her true nature, Christina locks herself in the bathroom and drowns herself in the bathtub. Now, what's interesting about this, for me, is that, alright, so if everybody can't see them, how are they even actually there?
Yeah, like,
how
are they affecting the water, or, like, how are they physically interacting with the world?
Yeah. Like, is this like the outlier thing? Like the outliers can see her and can interact.
Oh, yeah, because it's not like she's just in a host body. Unless she is, and somehow you can just be, like, invisibility mode, with the host body. But
that's the thing.
The people who can see Christina
can see the
her roommate, her boss, the crazy guy, Teddy.
yo, the dude who was on the street earlier in the season who was like, have you seen the tower? And she goes like, what tower? What are you talking about? And he completely ignores her. You remember that?
Yeah.
So it's not that.
Oh, he can't. Yeah, he couldn't see her
because she was like, "What the fuck, dude? Like, why are you ignoring me?" Because he just kind of kept going on his spiel, and it was like, "Oh, well, we'll write it off because he's kind of a crazy guy. Like, what if he's just having a fucking thing right now?" Nah, he straight up could not see her.
So why did that one dude stalked her could, and was.
Yo, and that? Why the fuck did that dude have a memorial in that fucking hospital? What the fuck
that is important, and we haven't figured out that piece of the puzzle yet. That has to be important. Like,
it's just some fucking random red herring that they sent her on in the first fucking episode? No.
No. Yeah, what?
I don't fucking know, man. I don't fucking know what the hell. Like, every time I think I'm kind of zeroing in on... Because the only thing I'm fairly confident in is that Christina is whatever the next evolution Hale is talking about is.
I think that's pretty certain.
But I have no idea. I have no idea how it works, though. Like, I have no idea. Besides that, I have no idea what that even means. You know what I'm saying? I love that's what it is, but I don't even know what that is. You know what I'm saying?
It's right, but yeah, I have no idea what it is.
It's right because I have no idea why. That's what's crazy.
And I just also had the thought: if Bernard went into the Sublime to do all these simulations and stuff. Is Christina not in the Sublime?
That's my thing. Is that I don't think it's a surefire guarantee that Christina and Teddy are in some
that's
way
the evolution part. Is that they don't even need the Hoover Dam server thing? Maybe.
Well, and then what the fuck do those giant weird goddamn robots have anything to do with it? The no arms, curved legs. Is that another step on the way to the evolution? Like
a species that can survive atomic bombs around the entire world and kill every human?
Become cockroaches again? I don't know, man. I don't know.
Human William was like, when the atom bombs come down, blah, 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 and going on his whole spiel of we're meant to destroy. He gave a little atom bomb, little drop, like a little... You know?
It was a little bit more philosophical.
The thing is, we have seen a very small section of the world. Mm-hmm. Very small. The only importance of this area is that the Sublime is in it's in the Hoover Dam. That's the only reason this location is important. But what's going on with the rest of the world? Like, what's going on in Europe? You know? What's going on in Africa? What is Australia still afloat?
Yeah, dude. There's just literally no way of knowing until, like, I gotta guess they're not in much a different state. You know, like, there's no way they're just, like, normally operating and they're like, oh, nobody's allowed to travel to North America ever again. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Wait, but wouldn't Hale want to control it all? Is there the rest of the world? Yeah, is the rest of the world gone?
That's the question, is, like, has she taken it all out, or are they just doing what's going on here everywhere? Or are these the last remaining human cities? You know, she says she's closing the cities.
She does say plural. But Is any of it real?
The world is. Yes. I don't think Teddy's capping at the end when he says this world is real but you are not.
Okay.
I think that's there are a few things that I can like confidently look at in the show and go that was straight up with us, you know, and I think that's one of them. It's not obviously the entire truth because we don't know what that means for her to not be real, but I do think we know what it means for the world to be real. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
But
and is this happening in every city around the world, or is it just this one city?
I'm now in the camp that it's probably fair to assume that whenever she refers to the cities, they are the last left.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, like, if the rebellion was down that bad, they'd just go to a different country and get some help. If the rest of the world wasn't down that bad. You know what I'm saying?
Wow. This is, like, I would never have guessed in a million years from season 1 that good old Billy, not even Billy Bot at this case, just good old Billy. Innocent William, too, at the very beginning. Very innocent William fell in love with Dolores. Oh my God.
That's the most nut shit to think about. That innocent little William who fell in love with Dolores is now potentially responsible for the death of life itself.
Yep. That's what I was thinking during this episode, is that, like, it could really be one billionaire that could do it to us, you know?
Yeah. I was thinking about that too. I was like, man, it's crazy that this one guy had all this power to manage to do this. And I was like, well, he did have billions of dollars. And that's when I went, oh God, oh fuck, oh my. But nevertheless, let's push forth with this scene by scene here. So she drowns herself in the tub, and she manages to just open her eyes on up, emerges, and the swelling of the music here.
The soundtrack was
fantastic, but this musical cue itself made me go, there's something there to be unlocked. And it felt like that was the moment where it was unlocked, but then throughout the episode it kind of prevailed to be the case that it wasn't, you know, because she still didn't know who Dolores was. She wanted to know more about it. She just kind of knew from that point on that she was not what she was before, you know.
Yeah, I think it was
she experienced some metanoia.
Yeah, it was like a rebirth for her almost. Mm-hmm. It was like before she woke up that day, she was Christina only, and now she's like, okay, I am something else. I'm accepting that. Yeah. I'm accepting that now. Now I just need to learn who I am for real.
Yeah.
She's like, I know I'm not who I thought I am. The world is not what I thought it was.
But let's see what this is.
Yeah. Because she looked it, and like I almost wrote this down. Like I usually never take notes for stuff anymore, but I almost wrote this down. Like when she came out of the bathtub, she looked like early seasons Dolores, like for the first time in a long time.
Where she's got like the straight up like, not it's this blank stare that has an anger behind it. That's like, oh, she's not.
She made the Dolores face.
You don't want to fuck around with Dolores, man. Yeah. Even more so, she made the Wyatt face.
Yeah, that's a perfect description of it.
Yeah, she made that face that she would make whenever she was running down guests in the park after they'd taken over, you know, like
on a mission. Wyatt face. Yeah.
Exactly. But following this, she inside Olympiad, Hale tells the 279th version of Caleb, who's been just pounding on some glass with his fists to no avail, that she's going to be shutting down the cities tonight. And she's going to do what they did to her kind whenever they became undone. And she's going to put them in cold storage. So that's what she was doing to William.
I think the cold storage here is more metaphorical.
Yeah.
I think it's just a nicer way of saying
y'all are going to get put down. But
because I guess maybe, I don't know. It could be the imagery that's on, the title screen.
True.
Finally coming to like fruition.
I mean, I don't think it will anymore.
Seems that everyone is going to die other than a very small select group of people, which seems to be the revolution.
Yeah, pretty much. It seems like Revolution versus Billy Bot, which is never would have seen that coming. But she tells him that he's bait to draw Frankie and the rebels into the city, and that they'll be here just in time. And I gotta say, just with this mention of Frankie here, I love the actress for Frankie. She's been fantastic so far, and we'll get some more scenes with her in a little bit. But I just absolutely love Frankie and Aurora Perrineau in that role. But the man in black sitting outside, not happy about this development. He hears that she plans on shutting down the cities, and he kind of does a double take, like, "Oh, is that right?
You're serious what you told him,
Yeah, you're serious about that, huh?"
Let me go to my therapy bot, or therapy human real quick.
Yeah, let me go talk to myself. Let me air this out. But Hale says, in the past 3 days, more hosts have taken their own lives than in the last 2 decades. If they don't do it today, there will be less of them tomorrow. And it's so interesting that the host in black had the exact opposite reaction to Outliers as every other host. Every other host said, "Oh, I see, I'm going to kill myself." He said, "Oh, I see, I'm going to kill everyone else.
I'll do it for you."
Yeah.
And if I survive, I survive. If I don't, I don't. He's just a man that doesn't care. He's a cockroach.
Give a fuck.
And I mean,
one last game.
I know we only have one more episode. I don't think this gets resolved in an episode. Like,
you think seasons 4 and 5 are a potential 2-part arc of sorts?
Like, do you think Billy Bot is defeated?
Here's my thing. At this stage, is season 5 confirmed?
Oh, I thought it was.
I thought so too, sure. But like the way the show is going, I'm like, next week could just be the finale.
You think? I have the feeling that there's like a lot more, maybe.
But how?
Like, I feel like we've just seen. I feel like we've just seen a very microscope of what's going on, and then they're about to be like, oh, by the way, this big massive ending that's about to happen in this place. Here you go. It's happening on a way more massive scale, and whether that's the Earth or whatever, because if the rest of the Earth's destroyed, whatever, I don't know. But I every time there's something that is the little small detail that they drop, and then it like changes everything. Like this little detail we got of Christina being not real and not being able to be seen, that changed that changed so much, like of how we viewed her in previous episodes.
And the fact that Bernard's talking about this small thing they can save that'll give them a sliver of hope. Like, what is that? What
does that mean?
Is that path still available, or is it now eliminated? Like,
I felt like he died happily. Like everything's going to plan. I'm supposed to die. I need to die in order. You know, because maybe if he doesn't die, the key is still available, so that it's allowed to be shut off. You know, like it's allowed to be turned. You know,
maybe
allowed
that
to be.
was the sliver of hope that if they save the Hoover Dam, they save life itself potentially.
I don't understand if there's no hope for any host or any human, what it means to have a sliver of hope. Like what he's referring to. If he's so certain that everyone here is not going to make it out.
Well, and that's the thing, is that like the extinction he's talking about could purely be physical. You know, like it could be that they transcend. Like if they save where the sublime is, maybe there's a chance to save not only their kind but those with the flies that were infected. Like maybe that is where this is heading. I don't fucking know though, man. Let's proceed forth. Frankie and Stubbs back in the old park there are having a little bit of a discussion before having to, boogie on out of there. They're all talking about how they need to get going. Her old lady friend Odina pulls up, and Frankie's like, "I'm so sorry that I locked you up." And she's like, "Hey, I know you just wanted to keep me safe, but remember, my safe place is with you. Don't you ever forget that." And I was like, "Oh man, that shit was cute as fuck." And then, she says, "We got to move out." And Stubbs is like, hold off. They'll be back any minute.
Let's hold off for 1 minute here.
And then they pull back up. Now, I have the most far-fetched theory that I think I've ever had.
Okay.
As it pertains to Stubbs. So he says, you see, like, I can predict the future too.
Mm-hmm.
Throughout this episode, there's this otherness about Stubbs for me that feels different than he has before. Do you think there's any possibility that Bernard in the past has ever taken the opportunity to put a little backdoor into Stubbs for himself?
Dude, I was wondering why at the gate, whenever he closed the door, the bullet shot, and he's like, he was just checking to see, if he got shot, whatever. It seemed normal, but there was something that just seemed off about it, and it seemed that it's like he's running. He knows the possibilities, and like he's died there before, but he's like, oh, I didn't, not here, not today, so I'm gonna keep going. Like it seemed weird. And that makes sense.
There's a couple times that throughout this episode where I was like, especially on rewatch, where I was like, I don't know, I might just be reading into it, and I probably am. I don't fully believe this.
No.
But there's a couple times. But here's the thing, is it would lessen the moment here in a second, where when Bernard and Stubbs have this little one-on-one, where Bernard's like, hey man, you've been such a good friend to me. Please be safe out there. And Stubbs like, fuck you, Bernard. You're never this nice. What are you not telling me? And then it's Bernard's line here. You know me so well. He's like, he just kind of cryptically is like, I don't need to tell you what's about to happen. And Stubbs is like, damn man, I die, don't I? And Bernard can't tell him what's going to happen or else it won't happen, so he kind of like shrugged it off. He misinterprets this interaction as Stubbs is going to die when it really meant Bernard is going to die, which makes it all the sweeter. That in this last moment, Bernard...
I didn't view it that way.
Yeah. I
viewed it as... Stubbs is going to die.
He's still about to die.
Oh.
I took it as Bernard knew this is the last time they'd have a
Bernard
chance
knew.
to talk.
That's even worse.
It makes it so much worse. It makes it so much more sad. And, you know, he brings him in for the hug and he tells him, make a left at the fork. And Stubbs is like, all right, you fucking cryptic asshole, I'll do it. You better fucking win.
How does he know that? How does he know that? Bernard. What Stubbs would do after he'd be dead.
I don't think Bernard was dead at this point. But how can he's not there to directly influence that scenario.
Because he would have to die in that world for Stubbs to take the left at the... or whatever. Right, or if that's how it works. I have no idea how the Sublime multiverse, looking into every
just
possibility.
Kind of like float around and see what other people would do.
Yeah, does he have to be there? Can he go into anyone's, just be like, yeah, how does that... I guess that's an important part of the puzzles to know how that works. But, I mean, whenever Bernard woke up, Stubbs was there for 23 years. He said, I waited 23 years for this. He was probably like asleep, and Bernard woke him up. What if Bernard did a little classic switcheroo? You know? Well, I don't know if he probably can't do that to himself.
I'm fairly certain that when Bernard returned from the Sublime, Stubbs was awake and there. I think they showed us that.
I think there could be some backdoor option, though. I
do
know.
too, because there is the thing that after season 3, at the end of season 3, Stubbs is in a really bad way. He is like on the brink of death with a fatal wound, ready to die. And then at the beginning of season 4, he's just fucking fine. Now, it has been a really long time, but hosts don't just naturally heal.
That's true.
He had to have either fixed himself up in a state of complete disrepair or something else is going on there. And, I won't, like I said, I'm not going to dive too deeply into believing that theory just because I don't want to bet on it completely. I think Bernard had a really good send-off this episode. I like Stubbs and Bernard's last interaction here. It works with them just being who they are. It's nice to have Stubbs be free for the first time ever. That's the other side of it, is that he's never been free, and now that Bernard is dead, he doesn't have the directive that he always did. He's officially... But is that more indication that he's not himself?
Does him being magically healed, is that just like the show being like, it's been 23 years, he found a way, whatever?
Yeah. Or
is it like he's in the Sublime and this is just another version of him? It's not the same body that you saw at the end of season 3. Like, it's just, he was uploaded. There was a massive event where every single host was uploaded into the Sublime, into the Hoover Dam. Stubbs would have been there. He's been in the archives he was made with the park. Very, he's, I don't know, is this even, I can't tell what a Sublime version of a person could even do, though, in the first place.
Because Frankie interacts with Stubbs a lot in this episode.
That's true.
So it's not... That's the thing, is that Stubbs is there. He is a robot. He is a body. It's just and I don't think my theory has a lot of weight. It's just it was just something that occurred to me, some cryptic interactions between Bernard and Stubbs, Stubbs' reactions to certain things. It all just felt kind of like it fit, So but yeah, they hug here and Stubbs insists, they better fucking win to blow that tower.
Oh, dude. Oh, I was already tearing up, but then he was like, he accepted it, and he's like, yeah, you better fucking win. I was like, no.
And Bernard, like, the way they, like, hug, and he taps him on the shoulder, and as soon as he says that, you could see that Bernard's, like, tearing up, and he, like, pushes him aside and goes on right past him. It's like, oh, God. Oh, robot don't know how to feel. But in the control room at Olympiad after this, Hale is sending out an encrypted message to the hosts, informing them, you know, this was a little dirty on behalf of the last week's Next on Westworld, where they were like, this is the last day for our kind. And then this week this is the last day for our kind to enjoy their cities. I was like, okay, fair enough. Just leading me astray, running me amok. I get it.
I guess last day for humankind, though.
True. But, you know, she says it's time to let go of sentimental attachments and evolve into the species they were meant to be. Now, letting go of sentimental attachments, forgetting your past lives, being born anew, Christina, not having any idea what came before, just kind of existing, having to learn about herself. She's lost sentimental attachments, having to reform them again. She's playing God. She's clearly evolved into a new species. I really do think Christina and Teddy are an example of the next evolution.
Oh, yeah, it's like, because there's a difference between Christina, her power, and, like, Hale's power. Hale has to use the tower to control people. Christina just does it. She simply does. Like, whatever she wants to happen, well, unless the tower is going off.
The tower's saying something. And that's, but now that the tower's destroyed, the Lord should be able to rein shit in again.
Wait, couldn't she just be like, everybody stop?
Yeah.
So now she can just oh! Wait. But William, no, because William has no power anymore.
No, yeah. Billy Bot just didn't know. I have a feeling Billy Bot didn't know Christina existed.
So is he just going to get hit with the biggest Uno reverse card? So he's gonna
full of himself.
He's gonna think like, oh, I just won. No one can do anything now. Tower's gone. He's gonna be like, oh wait, I just gave the entire army to Christina.
Yeah, but the problem is that this war waged on like for the entire night. It is like sunrise the next day. So
Teddy's probably not good. Teddy is, if they're the next evolution, Teddy seems to know a whole lot more, seems to be there before Christina. And maybe Christina, like, Dolores just has a different power or ability maybe in the world that others don't. No, because Christina was like, why don't you just do it? And he goes, if I just did it, then you wouldn't believe it or something. It seemed that he could do it as well.
I don't know if he can. Maybe he can, and he's kept that to himself.
Because if Christina can now just be like, okay, everyone stop, the only way that she can be countered is if someone of equal evolution is on the other side. And the only other person that we know that's of equal evolution is Teddy, or the random hosts that have gotten into those other body things. I don't know if that's the same thing. Is that the same thing?
Exactly. Like, what the hell is going on here? Regardless, down in cold storage, you know, our friend, the host in black, Billy Bot, he's making a meeting with the real William. He wants to know, you know, what William would do to stop Hale from taking this world away. She wants to take everything I have. He's like, fuck you. You don't have any balls. He's like, I'll cut off your balls. How about that?
You don't have the balls to cut off my balls. And then he said,
just a fantastic interaction there between Ed Harris and Ed Harris. But, The line that William spits here: "Cultures don't survive, cockroaches do. The second we stopped being cockroaches, the whole species went extinct. We're not here to transcend. We're here to destroy."
What a perspective to have on the world.
It is indeed. And I loved this whole interaction, though, because, the host being like, "What the fuck are we here for, man? Why do I feel the way that I do? Why am I kind of crazy?" And he's like, "Well, you're me. Sorry, bud. You were fucked from the start."
Yeah, he's got that gene in him. Poor little innocent William had it in him, man. Who would have thought? Falling in love with the robot really do it to you, I guess.
And really do be doing it to you. Well, because there's a humiliation that comes with that, too, that you probably never recover from.
Like when he walked back, park.
That first time he went all the way to the edge of the park, and then it came all the way back. He was all decked out in black, and he saw Dolores. He saw the can drop. He saw someone else pick it up. He saw them have the same interaction. Can you imagine how fucking dumb you would feel in that moment?
Oh,
like that is an irrevocable humiliation. You burnt bridges for this. Like he sent Logan out to fucking die, basically. he had a wife back home he decided he didn't love anymore because of this. And then he was like, "Oh fuck. It's not real. None of it's real. I gotta kill it all."
Ended up killing his daughter.
Yeah.
I just like it's weird that like on the I always look up the same thing whenever I look at the Rehoboam prediction, and it's like a Reddit post, and it knows that in 50 to 25 or 125 years, or it claims to know that the hybrid Man in Black is here in this 50 to 125 years. Like, how is that? How can they assume that in 50 to, in after whatever is about to happen now, that he's alive and there?
Well, because the post-credit scene in Season 2 was very weird and stands alone like crazy. That doesn't connect to Season 3.
Wait, what?
There's a Season 2 post-credit scene where his daughter is talking to him. And I remember being like, "Yo, what the fuck are we about to get into in Season 3? And in Season 3 seemed to back the fuck off of it.
Wait, was that the Season 2 finale post-credit scene?
Season 2 finale post-credit scene. There's some pretty weird shit going on there. That seems like it could be far, far down the line.
Wow, I completely forgot about this. Huh.
It's pretty intense. However, I don't know anything, I don't know shit about shit.
Oh. So this post-credit scene is Billy Bot at the end of this survival of the fittest, and him and his daughter are remaining? Like the host version of his...
I don't fucking know, man. But, that's the thing, is that it felt, at the time, in the Season 2 finale, it was like, what the fuck even is this? He's got the whole hand thing going on. Like, he got his hand blown off at the end of Season 2. So maybe it's not as far in the future as we think, but that ruined area... I don't remember shit like that, man.
The daughter just said, "This isn't a simulation. This is your world, or what's left of it." But this is in the old park that was already in ruins, though.
True.
So, well, not at this time. It wasn't. Right? Or no, it would have been.
It would have been fucked by the hosts, for sure.
But, all dirty and dusted over this, though?
See that?
I don't think so. Because this is in the original park, like where he kept. Yeah, no, yeah, it wasn't this dusted like this. Yeah, I forgot about that post-credit scene.
Nothing's without purpose. It never is. But regardless, I don't know what the Host in Black has going on. He's really, really, really. He's in another world right now. The Host in Black he's like, I don't know, man. What the fuck's going on? William's like, well, you're still a version of me, and if I were you, or if I had the capability, I'd wipe every single last bit of this earth out. But I'm here. And only one of us needs to do what must be done. And the host's like, haha, bet, I'm gonna stab your ass. Gotcha, sir.
Smiling as he went out, too.
Yeah, he was like, yep, I've done what I needed to do.
Damn. That's nuts that we are getting Ed Harris in a TV show. Like, every episode.
It's
like
fantastic.
An act, like the performances of these actors, like, compared to
TV.
I don't know. Yeah, like I don't know. I don't want to make fun of like a Marvel show.
Dramas on.
I don't want to make fun of like Marvel shows or anything, but like it's a whole different ball game here.
Like one of my favorite TV performances this year on the Marvel side, Ethan Hawke's Arthur Harrow. That shit's awesome. But is it coming close to what Ed Harris is doing as the Man in Black in this season? No.
Tessa
it's
Thompson?
Simply not. Or Tessa Thompson.
Dude, she's loving this role.
No,
it would feel pretty nice.
It would be pretty awesome. But nevertheless, they head on over to Olympiad in the Tower. Pretty much everyone at the same time is heading to Olympiad in the Tower. And Christina uses her little superpowers to be like, hey, it's time for vacation. Y'all go home and see your family. Everybody here is getting real annoyed with the work. Go ahead and trigger the fire alarm. Except the writers. Y'all stick around. Y'all go ahead and burn this place to the fucking ground. This is it. Before they head on down, they go ahead and get rid of the guards as well. And before overriding the security system and unlocking all the doors, freeing Caleb, it's pretty awesome. They go ahead and free Caleb and all that. And I was like, yeah.
Is the chaos of what's happening because of Dolores? Or because of Christina? Like, is deleting every single file of what's running the city in everyone's loops? Is that really what did it?
It's probably at least
because Christina isn't actually there. She's just interacting with the world. The tower is what sends out the signal to control everyone and everyone to go crazy. But like, what if Christina doing that, in order for it to have the effect that she wants it to have, it has to affect the real world, and the real world way of affecting it is through the tower. So, like, because Christina wants every story to be deleted and all these people to do that, like, she can't just control them with her brain, but she controls them through the tower. No, because the tower's gone. Well, maybe that's how she can't just pull an Uno reverse card, is that maybe her powers are a little dimmed down now.
Like her powers had to be tied to the tower?
Maybe. Because we haven't seen her use them post-destruction.
Right, but we did see the tower override her power.
Yeah.
So it feels like a separate thing. But I guess if it was, it can't be the same thing, I don't think, because then it would have a little, like, there's no way that the tower, like, unless the tower just has the capability to decide which commands it wants to follow. You know what I'm saying?
How? So, yeah. It is known that it can override Christina. Like, that's fact.
That's a fact, yeah.
It's nice to know that there are some facts.
Yeah, there is stuff that is set in stone. And one of the things that I really liked about this episode here was that made me go, what the fuck, at the time, but now is much more clear, is after they free Caleb and make their way out of the room, as they exit a hallway, Stubbs and Frankie enter that hallway, and I went, I'm sorry, nobody saw anybody there?
Mm-hmm. I'm like, wait, are those the same people? Now they're walking the other way, and I'm like, wait, this is completely different people. Wait a minute.
And then
how
my mind went, was there a time jump? Like, is there some sort of time lapse that we're not seeing? Because that's typically what it's been in the past. Whenever they've shown us stuff like this, it's been like there's a time difference that we simply haven't been made aware of yet. And by the end of this episode, we find Stubbs and Frankie simply cannot see them, which is fucking awesome. But all the chaos that it ensues here makes it easier for Stubbs and Frankie to slip in unnoticed. They're like, guess we didn't need all our ammunition here. And in their search for her father, they stumble upon the body of William, and Stubbs is like, oh shit, I know this guy. And Frankie's like, well, we gotta help him, we gotta get him out. And he's like, no, don't worry about that. Whoever did this did a good thing. This is good. Fuck that guy. And I for some reason, especially on my second watch, I was immediately taken back to season 1. Whenever we are still unaware of who the Man in Black is, him being William and all. And someone asks, like, sir, there's someone at this part of the park who's trying to do this. He's sending some hosts severely off their loop, and Stubbs has to go, that man gets whatever he wants. In reference to the Man in Black, who we now know as William. So it's nice to see him be like, you know what? Fuck that guy. Good.
Yeah. You know, say Christina were to pick up a knife and run up to a host, and would that work?
Dude, I have no goddamn clue. How?
Like it's nice to know that at least Billy Bot is in real world. He stabbed real Billy Bot. Or he stabbed real Billy.
Yeah. My thing is, like, even the thing that I still cannot get over is her roommate and her boss. How did her roommate set her up with Teddy? How did her roommate even see Christina? What was all the making her decide certain things? Was that just like code for other decisions she was making? Like,
yeah, what? Because the boss was weird the whole time.
He was like, he asked her a couple things that were a little too knowing, like,
and just his attitude, just like the way he conducted himself, showed up at the instantly whenever she was off track. He showed up right away. What are you doing?
The office is empty.
Oh, you're accessing office files on the road. What's up? What's up? What you doing? You know, it's like he was like on. He was on her. So and then he like
what happened there.
And then shows her the door. I guess at that point he was like, "You will tell me the truth." But then he got cryptic out of nowhere. And was like, you know, started speaking in like.
We started saying stuff about the garden or whatever. Like, if she.
Like, what was that?
Dude, and the fact, the thing that's still, I'm still like, what? Is the fact that her roommate had nightmares and memories of being taken over by flies.
Duh.
So she was at least at one point very real. Not Christina,
taken over,
the roommate.
Taken over by Hale.
Yeah.
And if she was the one who set her up with Teddy, then that gives more credence to like that Teddy is no bueno, not on the right side of things.
it also, that's the thing though, is that it feels to me like what's slipping through the cracks for Hale is that she has a soft spot for Christina. It seems like it anyway, like, why has she sent Teddy here at all? To give her any sort of comfort. Like, what? To instruct her in any capacity. What's the purpose of that?
Oh my God. Hale, I forget what episode it was, but she was seen with a purse full of brain balls, pearls, in a little purse, like 4 or 5 of them, and she was off.
Season 2 finale, yeah.
And she had a Teddy, a Dolores,
few Doloreses.
Yeah. So she just instantly evolved those ones, like right away, but had to stick back to get all the other hosts to do the same. So, like, those people who were in her purse, probably, like, boom. Right? Like, well, who are all of them accounted for? It was copies of Dolores, which one of them she did into, like, some Asian guy, right? In Asia that ended up dying. That was a copy of Dolores in, like, season 3 or something like that.
Yeah. He was the dude from Shogun World who we put into...
Was that a Dolores Pearl, though? Like, was that one of them?
Pearl. That was a Dolores Pearl. The Scottish guy who worked for Insight, he was a Dolores Pearl. Charlotte was a Dolores Pearl, and Dolores was a Dolores Pearl. Bernard, she brought out Bernard's Pearl. And I don't know if there were any more beyond 5.
Clementine. Peter Abernathy. Okay, Clementine could be one of them. A way that she's just never died. Mm-hmm. And where's she been? Where's she been?
Yeah, exactly. She was a non-factor in season 3, which makes me go probably not.
No, but like, where was she this episode? She was, like, she was in last episode.
True, and I don't know if you watched the next on, but she's in next episode as well.
Wow. This...
I think she took 4 Doloreses and a Bernard, and I think that's it. At the end of season 2.
She has a Bernard? Did she
because she built Bernard.
Yeah. So that's the Bernard that is now.
Because she built Bernard with the key to the
Sublime. Yeah, because that was the key. That's right. The one that is dead. So it is only Christina and Hale left.
Yeah. Okay.
I guess no matter what, she's not going to let just a copy of herself die. Like, even if it is the love between them that they kind of had,
There's
or like a soft spot. But it's me still. I don't know. It's kind of like a Loki Sylvie thing, but different in this case.
A little bit, yeah. We're robots, so it's a little less icky. It's not purely biological.
Wow. So what is the point of Ted? What is the... Well, that's where we circle back. What we asked, like, very early on is, like, what is the purpose of Christina? Why is she here? Why is she is she trapped here? Is she... Apparently, she came here on her own will, according to Teddy? Or was this...
That was according to...
Was he speaking of the permutation that put her here?
The permutation of her. Like, she did this. It was...
Not actually her.
Not actually Christina. It was Charlotte.
We are based... He said, like, we are based on the versions that they made of us?
We are the reflections of the people who created us.
The reflections of the people who created us. Yeah.
Did you watch the next Dawn?
I didn't really pay that close attention to it.
Because there was like one shot in particular in the next Dawn that made me go, I'm sorry. What?
Really?
Just because I simply have no clue what it could mean. If within context it means what it seems to display for us, it means Teddy wasn't 100% for real when he said that the world is real.
I think I'm almost okay. But you can see this?
I can see that for some reason. That's
okay.
weird.
I won't change anything about it then.
I don't know why I can see it. We saw...
Oh, yeah, Hale's body was being carried, so she's alive.
Hale's body was getting carried by a drone.
This isn't the world.
That.
Yo.
The whole world collapsing via some code. Yeah, man. I don't know. Maybe we save the rest of this conversation for the next Dawn for the end of the episode. Yeah. But because there's a lot to unpack there. I feel like I want to pick that apart. But nevertheless, like I said, this chaos allows Stubbs and Frankie to slip in. They find William's dead body, and they reach that fork in the road after passing Christina and Teddy, and Stubbs says Bernard said to take a left at the fork, and C asks, "You sure?" And Stubbs responds, "No, but he was." And at first, they pull up, they find Caleb, and Caleb is like really ready to fucking tear everyone anew. He's ready to fuck shit up, and understandably so. He pins Frankie to the wall. Here's the other line that made me go, that's really knowing from Stubbs. It's not about the moment you meet your father, it's what comes after.
That was out of nowhere.
It was out of nowhere, and it feels very, very premonition-y, given that the first moment he sees her again, he pins her up against a wall and threatens to kill her. It's not about the moment where you meet your father again. It's what comes after.
Okay. I was about to play devil's advocate and be like, well, maybe it's because in Stubbs' mind, he's thinking, I'm about to die, so I'm just going to give, good advice, but, nah, that's, it's too specific.
That's too knowing, right?
Yeah. Nah.
What the fuck?
There's some Bernard in him. There's something special with Stubbs. Something more.
Stubbs is the sliver of hope.
Stubbs is the only one remaining at the end. He's the only one. He's been shit on this whole time, and he's the only one that can make it out.
Wanting to die the most, and he's the last one to live. That would be hilarious. But after Caleb and Frankie come face to face, Frankie is pinned up against the wall and has to explain, you called me Cookie because you said I would always be sweet. And Caleb eventually comes to the realization after thinking this might have been one of Hale's sadist tricks. He's like, oh shit, it is you. You've grown so much. And she's like, kids will do that. And that was a really...
You have not at all. From the day you look exactly like I remember you.
Yeah, so she's like, what did she do to you? Should I be afraid of what you might do? And he's like, you gotta trust me, I'm me. I am me. Which I do trust. I do generally trust that he is him because Hale was so insistent on testing fidelity.
Mm-hmm.
This is the 279th version of him, and her goal was fidelity. So I trust that he's as close to him as he's going to get. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, I don't know. This was cute. Seeing them fight side by side together. Just seeing them just together, in the first place. Even though it's, not fully human, Caleb, like, it gives him this weird opportunity to where his daughter aged 20 years, and he gets to, like, see what influence he had on her.
He has all of his memories, you know, like, he might as well be him.
Yeah.
You know, like, that's what's wonderful about it. The love he feels for this girl is real. You know, that is his daughter. That's why he's like, it's me. You know, like, I am me, and that shit was just really, really precious. I did really, really enjoy it. But yeah, it was a very moving part of the episode. It was nice to finally get some payoff on the Caleb side of things, since he's been, like, tormented for weeks now.
Yeah.
Same with Frankie, frankly. But, and the way that scene ends with Stubbs being like, sorry to ruin the moment, but
hey guys, we gotta go.
I gotta get out of here, so can you help me? But Maeve and Bernard thereafter arrive at the tower, where he tells her the truth about their mission. No matter what they do, they can't win. Everyone here is going to die, but they can save one part of this world. The choice to still fight with him has to be hers. And she's a ride or die. She makes him promise, though. After this is all over, you send me to the Sublime so I can see my daughter one last time. And he's real hesitant, but he's like, well, I guess if it'll keep you fighting for now, I'm going to die. I will not have the opportunity to do that. But, yeah, I promise. As far as I know, and as far as you know, I do promise.
Aw. That's just kind of sad.
It is kind of sad. Unless Stubbs can pull a fast one on us and go ahead and send her to the Sublime.
Dude, no way we don't get the shot of Maeve and her daughter. You know?
Feels like it has to happen. Feels like it has to. But, I sure hope. I sure hope so. But at the top of the tower, Hale is observing another host transcend into a new form. She's taken on the next step of the evolution, and watching this for the first time, like, seeing this whole process was like, oh, I'm sorry. So they're not getting sent to the Sublime. That's not what's happening. They are just being placed in this new weird body with these terrifying curved legs and no arms. So this is the only part of it that's like, oh, well then what the fuck is Christina? Because this makes me think she can't be the next evolution, you know? Like,
or it's just many steps down the line.
Yeah,
because like even Hale says that this is just the first step.
Yeah, you know, this is not the final part. It's just the first step. So yeah, you know, I'm back in the camp. But
I think it's just Christina is like you're past just your mind being in a pearl. Like you're just existing and you can control whatever. Like, yeah, I mean, I don't know why they wouldn't just jump straight to that, though.
Maybe it's not possible. Maybe the 23 years that it took Christina to get to this point were crucial. Like, maybe she was the first test subject, and that's just what she's been doing for the last 23 years and working on Christina. That's why she goes and visits her every week to see how she's doing and to see what she's up to and, like, make sure her development is in the right places at the right time, you know? So, I do believe she is the final form of what they hope to be. At least what Hale hopes them to be. But upon watching this transcendence, Hale decides it's time for her to transcend as well. So she goes ahead and pulls on up, and she's like, you know what? Yeah, I'm ready. Go ahead. Cut my head open. And strategy here on the part of Maeve is just faulting at an all-time level.
She could have waited, like...
Wait another 2 seconds. That pearl is out of her head before it even reaches the body. And that's that, you know? So, interesting choice, but it's alright. I get it. but before she can achieve the transcendence, Maeve enters the room and she's like, "Sup, bitch? Can't believe you're still kicking." And Hale's like, hold up for a second. I got to go ahead and beat this ass right quick. And, they have this nice philosophical discussion for a moment before Maeve's like, you know what if I cut your ass? How about that? And they break off into a really great fight sequence. There's only a couple spots in it where I'm like, I've gotten more critical of hand-to-hand fight sequences because I don't like when they're really choppy. When there's
this
a lot
one was
of
a little choppy, yeah.
There's a couple points where it is a little choppy, but for the most part, it's really, really smooth, and it all feels necessary. Cuts are where they're supposed to be. There are just a couple points where it's like, that was a little quick.
Like, boom, boom, boom.
You didn't really need that.
Yeah.
But mostly it was good, and this fight ends with Maeve being like, you know what? Nah, this ain't it. I know we ain't gonna live. Who said we were here to win? We're here to survive. So that's why goes ahead and gets her head blown off, and it's the host in black, and Hale's like, "Haha! Finally, thank you for showing up. It's a huge honor to have you here." And host in black is like, but you see, it's time for one last game. My game.
Survival of the fittest.
He goes ahead and delivers her a fatal blow to the head as well. So, the thing for me is that if that truly is the end of Maeve and Hale, respect to the showrunners for being like, you know what? We're just going to off two characters that are so massively important out of fucking nowhere. They're just going to die. I don't think they're dead. I personally don't.
The thing is that if next episode everyone dies but Billy Bot, they actually get a eventful death. Is the thing.
True.
If there is an event that kills everyone, and everyone just gets an uneventful, fast boom, it's over, then Maeve and Hale actually
they did get a moment.
And I don't think. For one, Hale's body was being carried away in the after thing, and they were shot a little off center on very purposefully to protect. Billy Bot knew what he was doing. He knew exactly what he's doing. If he wanted to end them, he would aim right smack. He's a robot. He hit 3 hole-in-ones in a row. That dude's aim is perfect. You can't tell me otherwise. And he didn't hit the hole-in-one purposefully. It's survival of the fittest still. If they can come up and take him down, cool.
That's what I thought. I thought his survival of the fittest thing was like a little bit of like a, let's see what you can do about this.
Mm-hmm.
The head and gives them each a pop in the head and is like, let's see which one of you lives. And that's just that. But
maybe he's just a Joker character. Just introduce a little bit of chaos, and he just doesn't care.
I'm not crazy. I'm just ahead of the curve.
I guess he is, man. Now he's on the same playing field as everyone else, it seems.
Finally what the Man in Black wanted all along. But
real stakes.
A real game. But up in the control room, Bernard's leaving a very cryptic message, which I has the feeling is going to be massively important. No idea what it means as of right now. No idea who it's for. Probably Stubbs. But
sleeper agent unlock. Boom. Now he's awakened Stubbs.
It tells him to reach out with his left hand, which is like really specific. I don't know why he would say such a thing. It doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me. But yeah, here he's scrolling through the episode now. Ah, cool. So I can see the post episode. I cannot see during the episode.
That sucks.
Dirty dog. Yeah. So tell me word for word what he says here.
Yeah, it was really cryptic. And while I heard him, there's time
only for one more game if you choose to give her that choice. You can't miss. Reach with your left hand. There's time for one more game if you choose to give her that choice.
There's time for only one more game if you choose to give her that choice. You can't miss. Reach with your left hand. You can't miss. Reach with your left hand. If you choose to give her that chance, is the her
Frankie?
C? Yeah, like, if she's the key to it all,
would make sense.
You can't miss. Reach with your right or left hand.
There's literally no way for us.
It's not like you can't miss, and then he's like, aim for this spot. It's not like they're shooting something. It's like, you can't miss. Reach with your left hand. Like, is it the freaking title card, dude? Whenever they touch the wall for the first time and realize that they're in a freaking cage, is it like, like, he's waking everyone up? Like, they reach out and then it's like, with the reel, but I don't know. Like, what can you reach out with your left hand and you not miss? The Valley Beyond? Is it like the Sublime? Is it like, what are they reaching? It's not they're grabbing, I don't know. Like, they're activating something? Are they...
There's time only for one more game.
If you
choose to give her that choice.
There's time for one more game if you choose to give her that choice.
And it's like, and the context is, if you choose to give her that choice, you can't miss. It's like a comma there. It's not like a...
Yeah.
If you choose to give her that choice, you can't miss. Reach with your left hand.
Wow.
I don't know, man. I don't know. But they come face to face here, the host and Black and Bernard, and he monologues for a second about how, Arnold's ghost, a past version of you and me. I spent a long time chasing you. But here's the thing, is that Arnold didn't have what it took to live in this world. And he goes ahead and pops him one in the chest. Pops him another one in the chest. And I will note something for you. I don't know if this is a goof or if it is purposeful, but when the host in Black pops Bernard in the chest twice, it is daytime outside. Bernard retreats into his memory of the Sublime, and when he returns, it is night outside. And the host in Black is talking about how is still talking about some shit, Yeah, right there, right before.
Wait, well, so like he was shot in daytime, but he went to the Sublime, and in the Sublime it was nighttime.
No, wait.
But then Billy Bot standing here above him, it is
when he
night.
shoots him in the head, it is night outside.
Yeah, he shoots him in the chest, it is... Is it possible that he shoots him twice in the chest, he's down for a little bit, comes back, shoots him in the head when he wakes back up?
Yeah, that's the thing. I truly think it might just be a goof. But that's the thing, with a show like this,
or,
like, what's a goof?
The view of the city, that's not a fucking city. That's the thing that's shutting down the simulation. It's not even the city. It kind of looks not real. I guess it's a view from super tall, like, I don't know. But, like, what if that's just a projection of the city? It's just not even real.
I don't fucking know, man. I don't know. Yeah, like, what if Teddy was sent by Hale and Hale is having Teddy lie to Christina? You know, like, what if that's the layer there? What if Teddy isn't being truthful?
And, like, what if they could just change the world around them at will as well? Not just control the people. But they just don't know that yet. And, like, this city that we see is just, like, their creation as well. And, like, they can alter, like, I don't know, because it's shutting down at the end. It looks like it was, like, coming out from the, like, view of the tower, almost.
Regardless, I don't know what the fuck is going on. I just know that the host in black pops Bernard in the dome, and he has one last remembrance of his son Charlie and him heading off through the door, where we see him see the light, and then we watch the glitch happen, which I assume is his systems shutting down.
Yeah, it's definitely him logging off for the last. It's like a little reminder that like even though he's having a very human death, like he's seen the light, he's walking into the light, he's seen his son, you know, and then but he's still a computer, you know, at the very oh man, like
yeah, man, and like. I really did love this scene. It was really strong, and I did love the way they showed us more of that conversation between him and Ake. How it was like, do you understand how this ends now? And he's like, I do. And they show us what they're looking at out the window. It's the city burning at night. You know, like it is what is going to happen that night. So
Why did he choose
really like
to
that.
wake up this late? Why couldn't he have woken up 10 years ago?
He needed to run his calculations, man.
That many millennia, though? Is one enough?
Well, to know exactly what you need to do in every given situation, like, you got to be there for a while. Especially if you come to find out at some point that the key is some kid who has to grow up another 20 years.
Is that a Pearl in C's hand?
Yes, that is a Pearl in C's hand.
That's a left hand.
That is a left hand.
If you choose to give her the shot.
That choice.
Like, evolve Maeve, maybe? Like, if you do this, you are killing you, but know that she will live on. I don't know. Like, maybe it's not, like, gonna kill Frankie. Or C. I don't know what to call her.
I think both are fair. Frankie and C are both. It's the same character, you know.
Yeah. But that. I don't know. It is a left hand. And a Pearl. Whose Pearl could that be?
I think we
if
got
not Maeve,
options.
Bernard.
It's not
Bernard because this is red and destroyed now.
Yeah,
gone.
I'm going to either Maeve.
Can't be Christina. She doesn't have one.
As far as we know, it could be Dolores.
Sure, she doesn't have a body. Or
Dolores's body has got to be somewhere.
Oh, that's right.
Dolores's Pearl could very well still exist.
It's Maeve. 90%.
Yeah, I'm fairly certain it's Maeve. Another option, though, and, you know, it did say give her that chance, or give her that choice. So the her is operative. It could be Caleb's, though. Caleb does have a Pearl now.
It's her own. Bernard needed to make that copy of her. And she has to now be like, I have to be a host if I want to live. I can't live on as a human. I need to wait until the next generation, blah, 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 whatever. Like, she needs to have time on her side, and she can't have that as a human.
I forgot he made a copy of her.
It's her own Pearl.
Herself.
It's herself. I was certain that it was Maeve, but no. It's her. And she's looking at herself, her future self, in her own hand.
There's one more game. If you choose to give her that choice, you can't miss. Reach with your left hand.
I don't know.
We do get a little bit more of that cryptic message in the next on.
Mm-hmm.
This isn't the world you wanted.
Let's see. Yeah, I think that might have been it. Let's see. There wasn't much that was revealed. This isn't the world you wanted, but it's the world you created. The question is, what happens next? And then presumably, reach out with your left hand. He says that afterward. It sounds like, what happens next? Here's your options. You can do this, and you'll give her the chance to, whatever. Okay.
Okay, yeah. I think we're missing the middle. Sounds like Hale is the intended recipient.
It could be Hale's Pearl. It could be Maeve, Hale, or herself. It's a female, though, I think.
It is a woman. The way he says,
yeah.
If you give her that choice, you can't miss. Aim with or reach with your left hand. It's
either Hale, Maeve, or herself. I like it being her, though.
I do, too. I like that idea a lot. Feels like she has to really face down a really philosophical conundrum at that point. But
because a part of this that they haven't got into is, like, she does not like hosts at all, and, like, now her father is one, and, like, is she gonna be okay with that? Like, is she gonna be like, no, you're not my real father? Whenever they have a chance to slow down and talk, like, is she gonna be cool with it? Because she was kind of like, what did they do to you? In kind of, like, disgust.
Yeah.
Like, it kind of seemed. Like, that's her whole life she's been fighting against hosts, Yeah, like,
you look exactly the same as I remember.
Yeah. Like,
what did they do to you?
Because it doesn't, it seems that she's gonna have to contemplate, like, oh man, now I'm gonna become the very thing I swore to destroy. God, it's a story that'll just transcend time.
It always does. It always does. But that would be an interesting theme for the season, with Hale kind of becoming something she never wanted to be, sort of a tyrant who's made these decisions for her kind, becoming the thing she sought to destroy.
No way Billy Bot just literally strolled into town and is just gonna kill people. Is that all he's doing?
He's just a man on a mission to destroy, man.
Is he just a menace going around?
That's all he's ever been at his core. It's just him getting back to his roots. It's just him doing what he did in season 1.
Oh, yo.
Oh, yeah, who's holding the tablet?
And where are they holding that at?
It's in the top of the tower, it appears.
Yeah. The red, and the city's going crazy in the background. Like, it was buzzing, it looked like.
That's
C. I didn't even think to look in the background whenever she has the pearl in her hand. Maybe there's just nothing there. Actually, yeah, you can't really tell.
There's not a lot. I was looking around there.
Can't really tell. Oh, man. We'll just have to wait a week, man.
No, I can't do it, though. I need that leaked or something. Well, I don't know if you skip back 15 for me real quick. Who's Christina walking with here? In a second. Through the streets of the city. You'll see it. Oh, Teddy. Okay.
I was trying to figure out who Billy Bot is kicking out of this truck right here. You can kind of see his face. I think it's just an extra.
I think it's just a dude, yeah. I don't think it's anyone important. But probably someone with the Revolution would be my guess.
Assuming that's Teddy.
Yeah, I'd assume.
An interesting shot of like a split, like Dolores here, Christina. See, I'm having trouble knowing what to call her now. She's facing the same thing. She's like, "Who am I?" She's freaking out. Billy Bot just got to fly, you know. He's just going apocalypse mode. And here comes back
Clementine
out of nowhere. Here she's just chilling,
grabbing a knife. A knife.
She worked at the tower, and now the tower's destroyed, but she's just chilling. You know, like, where was she this whole time?
That's a good point. We watched the top of the tower be destroyed at the end of this episode.
It was, kablooey. And the Man in Black is right there at the Hoover Dam. His goal, to flood it. Right? Does he have any other goal? Does he have... What else does he want to do other than destroy?
Yeah,
that's the heart and soul of the hosts. Does that make him go kaput, though?
I don't think it necessarily means that, no.
True, because he's a host in his own... Yeah, okay, wait.
We still got a few scenes left here. Not much, just a little bit. But Frankie, Caleb, and Stubbs make it down the subway just as the signal goes out that all hell is about to break loose. And they escape, but not before Frankie is shot in the leg. And they have to leg it on out of there. And Stubbs survives, which I was happy to see. You know, I think he makes it to the end of the season. I has the feeling. But out on the streets, Christina tries to make the game stop. She's like, "Stop it! Stop it! Everyone, fucking stop! Please don't do this!" But her powers are being negated by the tone, and everyone she tries to help is unable to see her. And Teddy's like, "We got to get out of here. We got to get out of here." And she's like, "No, we don't. What's happening? What the fuck is going on? Why can't they see me?" And he's like, "Well, you see, this place is real. You are not."
Excuse me? Can you imagine being told that? Like, she's been getting brain blast after brain blast. And then it's like, yeah, there's different versions of you. You're just a permutation. Oh, and by the way, you're also just not real right now. Sorry. Like, what a position Teddy has to be in to, like, drop these bombs at certain times, you know, like, you can't just drop it all at once, or else you're just gonna...
I got another question. What's Teddy's urgency here? If she's not real, why do we have to get out of here? Why is he like, we have to get out of here? We can't be here.
If he's with Hale in any way, would he know that, like, the end of the world is coming? And he's like, but what's the danger? What danger are they in? If they can't be killed, you know, like...
Right.
I guess, like, maybe the Hoover Dam's in danger. Like, we gotta save that.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know, man. But right at the end of this scene, a great David Bowie song kicks in, "The Man Who Sold the World," which very, very nice meta title there for the Man in Black. Starts playing there, and he's decked out in his classic ensemble. He struts out of the mayhem of the city as the tower explodes behind him, and he's like, He's walking on out. That shot of him walking into the burning city as he's walking from the pristine host city, and it all blows up behind him.
I heard this lyric while during the song. It's just very specific to the show. For years and years I've roamed and I gazed a gazeless stare. We walked a million hills. I must have died a long, long time ago. Like, I don't know. It's insane that, like, there could be a lyric that plays perfectly to a show in which it talks about robots taking over the world and how they do it. And there's a David Bowie lyric that, like, lines up with what Bernard did and what, like, every host is feeling at this time. Like, I don't know. Like, what a... I don't know. It's just, this show is so well put together.
I need you to be prepared for something. I think next week could be the series finale.
It could be it.
I think it could be it.
I guess I should prepare for the end of the show, because it could be the end of the show.
Like, season 5 is not confirmed. They might just be leaving that open so that we feel the suspense of this a little bit more, but it could just mean this is the plan for the end.
You don't think they'd market it as, like, the culmination of Westworld, the end, you know? Like, you don't think they'd market it as, like, the series finale?
I think Westworld has an interesting following. It has a strong fan base, and the fans of Westworld are fans of Westworld, you know? I don't think they're trying to rein in a whole lot of new folks. They're like, catch up before the end. You know, Game of Thrones felt more inducive of, like, come on, go ahead, do a rewatch, do everything before you get it. Westworld has been all about the wait, what?
That's true.
And for them to just go ahead and end the show without them telling us it's going to be the end would be the ultimate wait, what?
The ultimate wait, what is, like, you're a host. Ford comes back on screen, and he's like, thank you for sitting down and you know, it's experimenting these tests, you know, this is just for fidelity, you know, and it's like...
Emily brought this up while we were watching it. She goes, all right, let me just ask you, what if we are already hosts and the robots who took over just got bored and put it into a TV show for us to watch?
To make it so unbelievable that we never believe it because it's a TV show.
Yeah,
you know, because if someone were to legitimately put that forth and be like, maybe it's exactly like Westworld, it'd be like, really, dude? You're going to copy a TV show? But, like...
I just got a notification from the FBI. They told me to stop the podcast and delete it ASAP.
All right, well, it was nice knowing you guys.
Yeah, that's that for us. But that's how that episode ends, man. It was a strong one. This will be our longest episode of the podcast for Westworld Watch yet. Well, there's still a little bit of content left to be had. Let's throw a rating on this episode. What do you say?
Oh, yeah. I mean, or do you want to explain, I guess, what it is for people, or do you just want to hop into it?
That's a good idea. That's a good idea. You know, I need to get into a better habit of that. And I will say, again, if this is your first time with us, it's an awfully strange place to jump in. Penultimate episode of Season 4 feels wrong. Go ahead and jump back in. Go through all of our episodes and listen to some of the predictions come true. Some of the predictions go hilariously wrong. It's all there for you, and we always got the fun commentary coming, so go ahead and check all those out. But what we do every episode is give it a rating out of 5 stars, and how we come to that rating is we got 3 separate categories. We got out of 5 stars for enjoyment. That's just how much the episode is connecting with us, how much we're really liking. It's completely subjective. No objectivity brought into it at all. It doesn't matter how critically good it was, unless that obviously factors into your enjoyment. So that's what that one is. We got genre. This was a nice sci-fi episode of television. I have the feeling this will rank very high in the genre category. So just how well the episode of television fulfills the genre it was aiming to fulfill. And then critically, just how well the episode was made. That's acting, writing, cinematography, soundtrack, all things considered whenever we start coming into film. And that's the one where we get really objective with it. We take the average of those three numbers, and it becomes the Penny Bloom rating for the episode. Now, like I said, enjoyment is involved, so it's not completely objective, but that's what gives it our little flair. So, let's start there with our enjoyment. I'm out of 5.
I haven't been enjoying a week-by-week show like this.
Ever?
I mean, it's reminding me of, like, peak Game of Thrones. Like,
Right.
Like, I am thoroughly excited every week. I am satisfied every week. Like, it's complete, and it's contributing to the larger story at the same time. I don't know what more I could want out of an episode of television. Like, out of pure enjoyment. Like, I don't know. Yeah.
I don't either. I'm with you. It's a 5 out of 5 for enjoyment for me. It's got me on the edge of my seat week after week. This one just hit, you know, like I finished the episode and I text you like, yo, you finished the episode, and I was like immediately like, all right, here, I'm going to air out everything I needed to say immediately.
Yeah. There was like just the first whatever until the intro. Like, the cut to the intro was like, boom. It was like a little mind blow. And then they had like another cut that like seemed like it could be the end of the episode, but then there was like 20 more minutes left. But then it was like, oh. And then they're like, there are just so many moments in the episode. I'm like, there's still more. Like,
I'll tell you what makes this episode, what is indicative of this episode's enjoyability. I watched it twice tonight. It is 3 a.m. and we are here discussing
that's fair.
The episode.
Yeah.
That's enough. You know, that's enough for us to know it was goddamn
There's
good.
no way I could have slept without talking about this episode.
Yeah.
Like,
there's no sleeping on this one. It was like, how are we not going to ASAP get together and discuss this shit right here? So yeah, 5 out of 5 enjoyability. Let's get genre in this hoe.
I mean, we got the big bots, we got the Sublime, we got Bernard going time bending, freaking.
It's another 5 out of 5.
Oh my god, Billy Bot died. I mean, come on.
Another 5 out of 5 sci-fi.
Billy's death, like a sci-fi ass death. Your own copy of you killing you. I mean,
Bernard's death.
Damn,
that shit was hidden. I mean, Caleb coming face to face with his daughter as a host, her being like, yo, what the fuck did they do to you?
Christina and Teddy just strolling around invisible while affecting the world.
Badass robot fight.
Damn. The host, whenever Maeve just snapped its neck. Oh, dude, yeah, this one was sick. Like, I can't imagine what this lasted, like, what we're about to get. Like, I made a prediction that the next episode title is going to be Extinction. That's the next title. I was either going with The End, as in, like, it's their way of being like, yeah, it is the end. Like, this is
unfortunately do believe there is a title for the episode.
Wait, it's already known? It's already known?
Que sera, sera.
Wait, what?
Que sera, sera.
Que sera, sera? Like
Whatever
Spanish?
Will be, yeah. Whatever will be, will be.
It's a song as well.
Yes. It literally translates to whatever will be, will be. So what happens next?
The future's not ours to see. What will be, will be.
What if the show just ends and everyone's dead?
I mean, it's what Rehoboam predicted it would take 50 to 125 years for human extinction. We got 27 years left until it even hits the lower bound of his guess. And that's it. I mean, it could be wrong completely. Like, there's no, it's not, I keep coming back to it as kind of like it's scripture. It's not set in stone, but like...
Yeah, because, I mean, I guess Rehoboam probably didn't factor in the fact that Rehoboam would die.
I don't know. It could have, though.
It could have. It very well could have.
Shit.
I'm not a supercomputer, I don't know all, but
it was doing what Bernard was doing the whole time. That's just all it was doing.
That's a fact. That was its entire existence. But let's get into the critical rating for the episode. And this one's pretty damn good. I don't know if it's quite last week. Last week was a special episode as far as the singular story arc for any given episode. It was it stood alone in a way that I don't know that we are ever going to match as far as a Westworld episode is concerned. But this stood alone incredibly well, and I'm on the extreme high end. The acting was very, very good. Again, Aaron Paul delivering, Ed Harris delivering on an absurd level, Tessa Thompson, Thandiwe Newton absolutely bodying it. Aurora Perrineau having to dig deeper than I think she has yet with what she had to do in this episode, coming face to face with Caleb for the first time in however long it's been. Like, it was a damn good episode on the performance side of things. I mean, James Marsden and Evan Rachel Wood on one-on-one with Teddy and Christina. They've been alone acting off each other for weeks, and it's been incredible.
Let's see. So last week, we gave it the highest film score of the show so far at a 4.95. And I will admit, last week, I came off that episode like it was beautifully made. Like, it was just shot in a certain way. The story, like, the step that Frankie took into, like, Caleb taking the step. Like, just a little, tugging at the heartstrings at the perfect time. It was beautiful. But this was, like, kind of, that's not what this episode was focusing on here.
And it still had those elements.
Yeah.
With Bernard.
Yeah. But at a higher stakes,
Yeah,
it's
like, damn man, you're really fucking me up right now, making me go, what is lacking in comparison to last week? Is there anything?
Because, like, Stubbs, at the moment that they left, like, I'm like, because I interpreted it as, like, Stubbs was the one to die. That's Bernard, I think you're completely right in saying it's Bernard knows that he's going to die, but he can't say it. But in my mind, I think Stubbs is still believing that he's going to die, at least in his mind. He's like, I don't make it out of this. He's like, God damn it, I waited 23 years for this. So, like, he's thinking that he's going to die. So, like, this whole episode, I'm like, oh, God, like, when's it going to happen? Like, and he's getting, like, pulled by that big crowd as, like, he's trying to close the gate. And I'm like, is this it? Like, is this Stubbs'
I thought he was going to sacrifice himself for seeing Frankie.
And I'm like, no! And then, so, like, I'm having this constant, like, Stubbs anxiety of him dying.
The dissonance within Christina the whole time. That's what's interesting about Christina's arc, is that she, less so than any other character, has had any singular contained story arc. Her entire thing, her story is truly from the beginning of the season to the end of the season. That's the one that's lasting the whole fucking time. You know what I'm saying?
In order to wrap it all up, they have to do something where it's like, Christina, you are one of the first of this, super evolved version of us, what we want to be, what we aspire to be. And this is just your baby steps into learning what you can do. So then they go back and they're like, this crazy guy that had a memorial made for him was blah, 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 blah. And you know, like, I hope we get, like, some clarity on some of these things, and that it's...
I just want, like, I don't expect this to happen, and there's no reason for it to, by any means, but for the life of me, if next week is the series finale, I have to hear the episode start with, "Bring yourself back online, Dolores," from Ford. And it's just kind of a montage of just how we've gotten to this point. Like, every step Dolores has taken on this journey, and it shows her evolve to this higher place eventually, you know? Like, See, that's the thing, too. If this is the finale, I don't know how we don't have Sir Anthony Hopkins
right
somewhere in the mix. Like, not in like a role player,
something,
you know, not like
something.
not in the show as like a character, but like, you know, he's there and he like a flashback of some capacity, like, because in the first season, that's the reason I'm watching the show. Is Anthony Hopkins, the mystery surrounding what the fuck he's doing.
He was a cryptic motherfucker, dude. Oh, he was fun to figure out.
And we haven't had someone like that in 2 seasons, not until Hale. You know, Hale was the first time we've gotten something like an inkling of that back. You know, and that being said, I don't expect it. And it's not like I need it for it to be good. You know, I just want it. You know, I would just like for Anthony Hopkins to have some small, tiny, itty bitty part in a finale if we're gonna get it. Bring yourself back online, Dolores.
I need to hear that voice next episode. I need to hear it. I hope I do next week.
The journey into night.
But man, is it a 5?
I'm going right where I was last week. I'm going 4.95.
Okay. That's good. It's best episode of the season by .01. Beats out episode 4. Episode 4, Lost Generation. Is that the one where Caleb or Maeve sacrificed herself at the end?
Yeah.
That, man, what an episode there. And then these last 2 have just been bangers as well. Like, every episode has been good, though.
That's the thing, is this has been my favorite. Going back almost a couple years now, we started covering The Mandalorian episode by episode, I believe, in August of 2020. So it's been 2 years since we started covering TV episode by episode. The Mandalorian, WandaVision, Falcon and the Winter Soldier, Bad Batch, Loki, The Book of Boba Fett, Moon Knight, Obi-Wan Kenobi. Nothing has been as fun or as good to cover as Westworld Season 4.
I agree.
Not a single thing.
I completely agree. I think we had more fun with like a WandaVision or Loki because we just were crazy. Like, it was more of a crazy fun. But like, as just a viewer, I guess if you're a casual viewer, this show isn't, I don't know, you kind of really have to pay attention. And I think the deeper you dive into the show, the better it gets.
I agree.
Like, I don't know. This is just the best form of television that I've experienced in quite some time.
I simply cannot wait for next week. I can't wait for next week. And the fact that we've got the next 11 Mondays on lock.
Yeah.
With HBO television is just...
Bam, bam, bam.
Yes.
Any last minute predictions? Right now we only have that Christina is the next evolution that Hale's referring to, which I think is on lock. And then there's a little bit of Bernard and Stubbs. Possibly.
Yeah. I don't have anything else. I'm not gonna try and pry for anything. Those were the 2 main ones I kind of had throughout the episode. one feels very good, the other feels much more far-fetched. And that's kind of how I like to do things. So I'm good with the predictions made here.
Okay. I'm going to say that season 2 post-credit scene, that is at the end of Billy Bot's mission right now. And that's like one of the last people he encounters. And whatever they do together, I don't know. But my prediction, it's like there's barely anyone left. Like barely anyone. And it's just him and her. I think she kills him. If I had to guess.
Oh, you think Emily kills Billy Bot?
Yes.
That's epic. That's epic.
Or Emily is the outlier that gets Billy Bot to do it to himself.
Ooh.
If that happens, let's
Then
just
you
say I
truly
can
are
predict the
well-known.
future
Yeah, I
like
was gonna
Bernard
say,
and Stubbs.
Then you are truly all-knowing. But with that, Westworld Season 4, Episode 7, titled Metanoia, came to a 4.98 out of 5 stars, a near perfect episode of television. And with that, we conclude the 247th episode of the Penny Bloom podcast. If you would, head to patreon.com/CoroBloom, where you'll find over 24 hours of exclusive content, well over 24 hours. Every week I'm putting up a nice little comic book pull list along with a book review. That's every Thursday. Last week we just put up our coverage of what's to come in Marvel with their announcements of Phase 5 and 6 and the Wakanda Forever trailer. It was a really great conversation, and you'll only get it over there at patreon.com/CoroBloom for $3 a month. Just $3 a month. That's absolutely fucking nothing. Come on, help a brother out. That'll be huge for me. But with that, remember to follow on Twitter at PennyBloomPod. Follow on Instagram at PennyBloomPodcast. If you're fucking with me and Joe, just know we got our 52-year journey through film going on right now, and this Friday brings us to the year 2002. And therein we will be discussing the masterpiece that is Scooby-Doo. It was a great joy to cover that film, and we'll have that episode there for you Friday. Cannot wait for you to hear that. Go check out MCU on Repeat. Just yesterday, they had an episode published where I joined them to discuss The Avengers 2012. Great film, great podcast. That was a great joy to be a part of. I was so happy to be there, and I'm happy to know that we will be back. Hate to spoil that for them. I don't think they've announced that, but yeah, we'll be back. And Joe will be there for the first time. Yes. It will happen. Yes. I won't tell you when, but it will happen. We will be collaborating with them in the future. We plan to have them on at some point. Potentially a long-term collaboration in the works there for us and MCU on Repeat. So go check that out. Leave us a 5-star rate and review. I was Colton Robertson. I was joined by Joseph George. Thank you very much, homie.
Oh, thank you for having me. It is always a pleasure. And thank you for letting me sleep now at night.
I can rest. Thank you for being here, buddy. It's always a great pleasure, and I cannot wait for that finale next week. Remember, peace, love, and bloom. And these violent delights have violent ends.